premier Week 9 bout, Baltimore Ravens at 6-2, welcoming a fellow feathered friend to the nest. The 5-2 Seattle Seahawks headed east as leaders of the NFC West.
Smith, screen, Jackson, Smith, and Jigba looking for the lead, and redemption for the Seahawk offense. Touchdown, Seahawks lead.
Geno Smith may have been rough most of last week, but he was pretty clutch, like that dude would say. Pretty clutch when it mattered most versus Cleveland. And so was the Seahawks defense, which set the comeback victory up with a late-game INT.
Pressure coming from Adams, and that's batted, and it is picked off! Julian Love, the interception at the biggest moment!
And this is where we start with them. Ravens offense taking on a D that has stiffened up as of late. It's an excited bunch. After giving up 27+ weeks 1 through 3, they have not allowed anyone to score more than 20 their last 4 games.
Walker, out of the reach of his receiver, Njoku, and Tariq Woolen
sets up a beefy matchup because Baltimore's offense, 11th most yards per game, 7th in points per game, 6th best on third down.
Pressure coming, going in, so it is Carr for the touchdown!
Lamar Jackson didn't light it up through the air last week, but kinda didn't need to. They got up so early, it turned into a don't mess up, hand off a lot to Gus Edwards, who had 80 yards and 3 TDs.
Run to the left. Edwards bounces outside, cuts it up, and darts in.
Ravens on paper, still very much a run-first team. They lead the NFL in rush attempts, 29th in pass attempts. It's the same kind of split they've put up in seasons past.
Hard at fullback leads the way for Edwards, who scoots in. Touchdown Ravens.
Edwards is the lead man, but only 13 carries a game. Lamar second with 9 attempts per game, 47 rushing yards per game on average.
Boy, just when you're thinking it's a regular run, Lamar pulls it. That is deadly, man. That is so hard to defend.
They mix in Justice Hill as well. Seattle faced 40 Cleveland runs last week, held them to 3.9 per run.
And they give it to Ford. He's going a long way to try to pick up 2 yards, and Jamal Adams was the first man there for the Seahawk defense.
Seattle, still the toughest team for running backs to test, holding Gus's position to just 3.1.
Here comes Kareem Hunt. Nothing there. Good penetration by Bobby Wagner.
But when it comes to Lamar, they're on the other end of the spectrum. 5.4 yards per carry allowed to quarterbacks in 2023, only one team worse.
Oh, that's a keeper for Walker. The little hop step in that giddy up as he takes it close to the sticks.
As for when they pass, Jackson has a 101 rate on his throws, a healthy 7.8 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, 3 INTs.
Now he's in trouble, escapes to the right, still looking downfield, lobs it deep inside the 15. He's got a man! Zay Flowers makes the catch!
Mark Andrews, still his go-to, scored last week, his 6th trip to the paint.
Jackson to throw, bump fakes, off his back foot, there's Andrews! Ross is on the money.
Seattle gave up 77 yards and a TD to tight end David Njoku last week. Tight ends haven't killed them this year, but they haven't locked them up either.
Orbit motion, another pressure play, and Walker delivers on target. On his way to the end zone, and it is a touchdown!
Zay Flowers, next up on the Baltimore passing totem pole. He got held in check last week. Seattle's secondary being healthy has made things tough on opposing wide receivers. Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Trey Brown, all holding quarterbacks to sub-80 rates.
Walker, one-on-one, tight window throw. It's Trey Brown in front of Amari Cooper.
Then you get to the Seattle pass rush. It could alter things. 5th most sacks in the NFL, 3 sacks last week. Boye Mafe nabbed his 5th, has won in 5 straight games.
Seattle brings an extra man, and Walker gets swallowed up by Boye Mafe.
Plus, they traded for Giants defensive tackle Leonard Williams, too. Jackson took 4 sacks to Arizona pass rushers, has taken 3+ sacks in 5 of their 8 games.
Back and forth, still looking, and it's gobbled up.
Again, they live with those unless he coughs it up. Sacks and pressure are a bigger deal to Geno. He hasn't been especially sharp lately, has faced pressure on 39% of his dropbacks this season, 8th most. Had a 78 rating last week, 2 picks, faced heat 44.7% of the time, has thrown 5 INTs in his last 3 games.
Here comes pressure. Smith gets rid of it fast. It's deflected in the air. What a play by Maurice Hurst.
Ravens do sport a pass rush that loves to get home. 3 more sacks last week added to their league-leading bag total.
4-man rush. Dobbs can't get rid of it. Again, Pierce makes contact. fumble.
Should be noted their pressure rate is average and they don't blitz a lot. It's part of the formula though. Smith facing the league's top-rated pass defense and rating. 5.4 yards per attempt allowed, that's number 1. Yards per completion, first. Third fewest yards per game.
Play action rollout. Dobbs unleashes, intercepted. Once again, Geno Stone.
They take on a wide receiver-driven passing attack this week. Tyler Lockett, 81 yards last week, a TD.
Geno Smith spins away from the pressure, throws it to the corner of the end zone for Lockett, who taps the toes for the touchdown.
Jackson Smith and Jigba had the game winner, 36 yards. DK Metcalf, 67 yards versus Cleveland.
Smith to Metcalf this time, and now both guys getting back involved, down to the 41-yard line.
DK did not really have it his way versus the Browns, though. 14 targets, only 5 receptions. Ravens cornerbacks won't be any easier to beat, holding wideouts to a sub-70 rating, second lowest.
It gets so tough down here. I mean, the windows are just so small. There's no way to stretch the defense vertically.
Said it last week, Baltimore hasn't been lights out versus running backs. They sit at 4.3 a run allowed to the spot. Seattle's backs looked great last week. They just didn't get used much for whatever reason. Zach Charbonnet, 53 yards on 5 carries. Kenneth Walker, 66 yards on 8 carries. So more carries then.
Here is Walker with a big hole and a long run into the red zone. Go the Seahawks with a big play.
This is the best 1 p.m. game on the docket next week, or 10 a.m. game, or whatever time it is where you live. 12s and flockers, take to the comments section with predictions and hot takes if you'd like. We end with our panel of 10's picks. Are you a pothead flocker?